Welcome to the Business of Travel, the official podcast of the Global Business Travel Association. I'm Sarah Whiting from the GBTA Europe Technology Committee, and I'll be your host for today's episode. Today's episode is not just another bot, AI that understands corporate travel. This is the first of 3 episodes in the series that we're going to be providing over the next couple of months. Each one of us is going to have a guest, and today my guest is Atyab Bhatti, the CEO of SkyLink. Atyab, did you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Hi, folks. A little bit about myself. I'm Atyab Bhatti, CEO and co-founder of SkyLink. Prior to SkyLink, was in the consulting world, traveling around every week, and then eventually left the consulting realm to start SkyLink. We were fortunate enough to be a part of Y Combinator, the accelerator helped make OpenAI, Airbnb, Reddit, Stripe, etc.
Amazing. Couple of icebreaker questions before we get started. First one, Are you a window or an aisle person?
Definitely a window person. Putting my head down, passing out on the plane. I'm one of those lucky people that can sleep on a plane, and so I will always pick the window when I can.
And then just briefly, how did you choose the travel industry? Is it because we have the most fun?
Yes. When we started the company a couple of years ago, in 2021, early 22, we really thought about travel as this delightful thing, both in the corporate and leisure sense. It created a lot of memories for people. When I think back to the chapters of my life, it's usually a trip that divides one chapter from another. It was something my team and I were deeply passionate about. My co-founder, Kush, and I were both engineers by training. We found travel to be a deeply complex problem. It mirrored the problem sets we would do in undergrad 10, 15 years ago. There were a bunch of different players, different systems, and that's just exciting. It's an exciting problem to be looking at.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Yeah, that makes total sense. So essentially, as I understand it, SkyLink is combining AI and travel. But can you just take us through how does SkyLink benefit the typical traveler?
Yeah. So when we built SkyLink, we really thought about it from the lens of 2 major user groups, the traveler and the travel manager. On the traveler side, what we observed is that they had 2 major modalities they could choose from, a traditional OBT or calling an agent. Agents are the backbone of this industry. They're incredibly helpful, but they can have long wait times. Languages can be a challenge. The time to actually get the booking done can be extensive. OBTs are great in certain use cases. Point and click solutions can take on average 15 minutes to get a booking done. And what SkyLink really is it's effectively a VIP corporate travel agent for anyone from your entry level all the way to your executive employees. SkyLink is that for every single employee. You can talk to it in your chat channel. It's super convenient, responds in seconds, and it does this in a way that's deeply personalized to each individual traveler. It allows travel managers to have end-to-end visibility and start influencing travelers to make smarter decisions.
Absolutely. So both for the traveler and the travel manager, that sort of transparency, efficiency, and ability to service lots of different travelers with different preferences and personalization. There's lots of platforms out there that are striving to do something similar. What could you say is fundamentally different about SkyLink without necessarily commenting on the features and functionality of those other platforms?
I'm aware of Citric Easy and I've heard of Ello. I'm not too familiar with how they work and what their products actually are, but I can say with great confidence that what SkyLink really does well is we focus on driving a delightful experience for the traveler. When you make this experience delightful, easy, and distinctive, that is what allows you to solve all of the auxiliary challenges that you face as either a travel manager or a TMC. Once the end user is satisfied, they're not going to be voicing concerns because they're being taken care of.
Okay. So then it's more about the design that allows travelers to adopt the tool easily, and they're easily delighted because it's intuitive in their design. I got you. So if we think about design configuration, we always think about availability and market nuance. Just talk to me about where the platform is today in terms of availability and what limitations you might be facing with your global rollout.
Yeah, so we are expanding globally. We work with large multinational corporations, so having a strong presence in global markets is important to us. I think from a functionality standpoint, There's always trade-offs. You have the enterprise, you have the content providers, you have the TMC. Coordinating across all stakeholders is something that you have to go through with any deployment, but navigating that with partners that embrace innovation and are willing to put the energy and effort in is always really helpful. And on our side, as we are expanding globally, we'll be in Europe, parts of APAC, parts of LATAM, Middle East for sure. Content acquisition, making sure that the workflows are very delightful for the traveler and are giving the travel managers the outcomes that they're solving for. That's a key priority for us.
Absolutely. That makes sense. And I think we all have that same challenge when rolling out global solutions. And so you talked about AI being a delightful tool. How do you handle the edge cases and complex travel needs that might still require that human intervention?
That's a really good question. The backbone of this industry is travel management companies like TMC agents. We've always believed that. It's the reason why travel is such a personal experience. It's why we have these wonderful partners in our TMCs that help us manage these deeply complex programs. If there's ever a moment where you just want to talk to a person or SkyLink identifies that it can't execute the workflow you're looking for, it will direct you to an agent. With some of our partners, we're exploring deeper integrations where SkyLink can even pass the context off to the agent as well. So you have this global services arm that you can leverage at any point in time. You have scalable technology that allows you to drive these wonderful outcomes while still having that safety net of the human element of travel, which is incredibly important.
If you've got all of those elements in place, the travel and the AI agents working hand in hand, what kind of measurable outcomes can you achieve? Is there savings in terms of cost, time, efficiency? What can you share with us?
Yeah, there are definitely savings in terms of cost, time, and efficiency. I can't share too much on the cost side today, but what I can share on the time side is one of our largest customers, McKinsey. They stated that their average session time on an OBT was close to 15 minutes, and their time to book session time on SkyLink was around 99 seconds with a 96 CSAT. That is consumer grade, best in class technology.
That's really impressive. I think it speaks to the fact that things can both be fast and enjoyable at the same time, which we normally don't put together. If you had a message for travel leaders evaluating AI solutions, what would it be?
I think there is an element of being bold and innovative. Like SkyLink is for organizations that really embrace innovation and want to attract the type of talent that appreciates the frontier of technology. So I would encourage travel managers to embrace innovation, be a little bold with what you think you can do, because the world can bend it to your will if you're willing to dream big and make an impact.
Lastly, where can listeners learn more about AI solutions? What would you suggest?
Yeah, definitely. The best way to learn about AI is through AI, like use Claude, use ChatGPT, and just ask the foundational questions. You will learn, you could ask it, explain it to me like I'm in 5th grade, and it will put together a great document for you. That'll get you to 80% of the way there. That incremental 20% where you want to develop expertise or have a pulse on the frontier is always happening on X or Twitter as it was formerly known. The top engineers in the space. Yeah, you'll see the top AI researchers are posting on there. You see how models are performing, and that really gives you a good pulse of the ecosystem.
Absolutely. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that conversation. I appreciate your time as well. So thank you so much. And we will definitely keep in touch. You have been listening to The Business of Travel, the official podcast of the Global Business Travel Association. For more information about GBTA and its work, visit gbta.org and be sure to rate us and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, thank you for listening.